They developed the flying wing, the Horton brothers. They developed a turbojet flying wing. They were working on monstrous intercontinental bombers of bizarre designs. I have several hundred slides that I've taken from books from the public domain of designs that was so ahead. The Germans developed, according to some even more advanced rumors, they developed the time machine.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addicts. On a fine, luxurious evening, we're going to take you through time tonight, people. And I just want to give a big shout out to my homie Steve, who's in the chat. Yes, Steve, I did wear this top last night. It's been washed today. It has actually been washed. I think. I don't know. Might not. I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, we're going to do a bit of time traveling stuff. And a bit of the Vril. For anybody who doesn't know what the Vril is, Nick will tell us what it is because I have no idea. But it's wild. But without further ado, my two brothers in crime, Dave, Lee, how the hell are you on this nipple twisting evening?
Chlorined.
Mate, you really do utilize that hot tub.
Oh, nearly every day. Yeah.
Even in winter.
Sexual. Very sexual.
Yeah, no, yeah, sometimes in winter, not as much. I kind of use it as a plunge pool in the winter.
Nice.
I am jealous. I want a hot tub, but they are expensive to run, I think. You know, with the electric.
This is not a hot tub show, and I'm not going to explain to you whether it's not as much as you think it is.
Well, you explain to the audience. They might want to. You never know. Could be an untapped market podcast show. We've been missing it.
Get a thermal blanket. Make sure you put some good insulation underneath it.
Time traveling hot tub could be a good challenge.
Hot tub time machine is what you're trying to say, Ollie, and someone's already done that.
Oh, they got it.
I think they did two of them, right?
Yeah, they're good films. Good films. And a thermal cover for it. Thermal cover will save you pounds.
And let's bring on our lad Nick. Welcome, mate. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it has been, mate. Yeah, I missed you. Missed all your guys.
Just show everybody your chest.
Yeah.
That's it. What's he embracing there? Yes.
Sexy
absolute sex.
May I say it is very good quality t-shirt. I'm smelling nice at the moment. It hasn't got hard or anything like that. That's what she said. But yeah, is a fantastic T-shirt. So definitely recommend it. Definitely.
Everybody should buy one immediately.
At least two. Really.
Now. Yeah.
Two people. Yeah, it's in the description. It's in the description. If you want some merch, people, they're all there. There you go. Put that in your bottoms. And that one too. Yeah, because we're massive, big flat earthers here. Well, Lee is.
You converted Lee. When did that happen?
I'm still trying.
I think
Am I
everybody
still
knows
the only Globey?
what's going on right now is called projection, I believe.
And listen,
Which is obviously,
it's
which is
been a minute.
ironically what Ollie has the issue with when it comes to the Earth.
We're forgetting about somebody. It's been a minute. It's been away for a while, but he's here. He's been hiding, but hidden. My lad, how you doing?
Oh man, thank you.
Can I just say, you and Nick did some great live shows the other day.
I'm putting it all down to Nick, man. It's all his research and everything. So
The Nazi stuff was,
Nick is the legend.
yeah,
Thank
some
you.
good
Thank you.
shows there. Some good shows there. Make sure you go check them out on Hidden's channel. They were, and obviously Nick's channel. But Nick was on Hidden's. Beautiful. It was really
If
good.
anyone in the future fancies clipping Ollie going, yeah, the Nazi stuff. That'd be great. That'd be
will.
great. if you just clip that bit.
You know, Lou will be looking at that going, yes.
You know, I didn't even notice that just because it's so typical.
It's
It doesn't
like
even
every
stand
day.
out anymore.
So,
Do you know, there was a gap there where there was like 85 different things I could but couldn't have said.
man, you held yourself well there, mate. Really well.
That's what she said.
I'm impressed. You had people in? I noticed you had like a guy in your audience, like Paul, that like he was well into the Nazi flying saucer stuff, and yeah, that was a hell of a show. I think, did you guys touch? Because I've not watched all of them, because I think I'm about 2 hours into the first one, and I started watching the one you did last night live, not like on Friday live. Was it Friday? It was Friday yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I started it, but then I thought, no, I need to finish watching the first one first. Did you touch on the Vril?
Not really, no. That was supposed to
Brilliant.
be the second part, but it's literally a 6.5 hour podcast, and we need to go back and do another one because I need to finish off the actual whole conspiracy. I mean, it's absolutely so much information to bring out there. But the Vril I was supposed to touch on yesterday, but we sort of.
I was going to say, Nick,
passed over
just
it.
hit it. What is the Vril?
Right, what is the Vril? So the Vril means the life force. It's a bit like chi, ki, prana. You ever heard of those terms before? Like Hindu religion believes prana. It's like almost like a spiritual energy to a certain degree. But Vril means the life force, but in a way it's also been expanded over the years as a way to like power flying machines, having telepathic communications as the Vril. So what I want to do, just to get things started, is go through the brief history of Vril and where it came from, the public knowledge of where it came from. And the idea is that this is going to be leading up to the esoteric side of the German flying saucer program. I'm going to try not to say the N word because the algorithms don't like that. N-A-Z-I, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it. How does it sound? I went to public school.
Nazi? Yeah.
Nancy Drew, that famous detective.
She was a little bitch.
So were these guys.
Ollie, could you just bring up my screen, please, mate?
There you go.
Okay, fantastic. Right, I'm just gonna.
She is fine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, we'll get to Maria Orsic. Don't worry, she's like obviously the main part of the story. But this is like the esoteric side of German flying saucers. So let's start off with Vril. So back in 1871, this book came out called The Coming Race by Edward Buer Lytton. This was the first public knowledge of the word Vril. Okay, the story is obviously a novel, was a made-up story, but it is about a traveler who discovers an advanced civilization underground through a mine shaft. Now, this civilization that he comes across was called the Vril Ya. Okay, VRIL-AY. Sorry, YA. So these advanced civilizations had telepathic communications and some other abilities as well. They would use power tools and stuff like that, but they would use the concept of Vril, okay, to power these power tools, etc., etc. Okay, so that is the first mention of Vril being used as for like powering machines and stuff like that, and also psychic abilities, which leads into Orsic a bit later. What's interesting about this book is that it was so popular in the late 19th century. There was actually a party held at the Royal Albert Hall in 1891, which was called the Vril Ya Bazaar, which was an actual party held about the coming of the new race of the book. So that's how popular it was. So Vril at this time period in the late 19th century, early 20th century, Vril was started to become very popular. Okay, so let's move on to this lady, Helena Blavatsky. She written this book in.
She was very friendly.
She does, yeah. I wouldn't cross with her, mate. She will squeeze you to death. So yeah, this is a book called The Secret Doctrine that came out in 1888, and there was also another book she written called Isis Unveiled. She's got 2 volumes of that. That if you want the original book, it is £250 each in a bookstore in Glastonbury, so I avoided that like a plague, to be honest with you. I'm not spending that money on that. But I haven't really looked into Helena Blavatsky's philosophy.
I think
but she does mention
for anyone that wants to go and look at it, I think it's pronounced Blavatsky.
Blavatsky.
Is it Blavatsky?
Yeah. Helena Blavatsky. Yeah. So yeah, she mentions the word Vril as a mystical power as well. So we have the life force, the mystical power, and we also have the psychic abilities as well at this time period. So skipping forward to William Scott Elliott's book, The Story of Atlantis, which came out in 1896, and this is the first mention of Vril being used for powering flying machines. Okay, so we've got Atlantis and we've got Vril and flying machines. Okay, these are the concepts we need to stick by it for the moment. So moving forward from that, from a French writer called Jules Lerminia. I think I pronounced that wrong. She wrote a novel in 1910 called Panic in Paris, which talks about Vril being used for flying machines as well. So skipping forward to this. Now, this is a brochure that came out in 1930s in Germany. People sent this to me and says, this is proof that the Vril Society is real. Unfortunately, they haven't read the document because it's all in German. It's only 25 pages, but it does not mention anything about Vril Society. It mentions Vril being used for machines, but it also has the concept of Shiva, you know, the Hindu Shiva, the god of destruction.
Yeah, that's mentioned. The statue
that is mentioned
outside CERN.
That's it. Bingo. That is mentioned a lot in this book. But it mentions like esoteric knowledge, which was at the time, which was in Germany, you know, had all this occult symbolisms and occult knowledge started to blend into the German philosophy. But obviously, it says the word Vril, but is using it as a concept for flying machines, but no mention of Maria Orsic or the Vril Society. So skipping forward to 1960 to this book called The Morning of the Magicians, which is the first mention of the Vril.
We have a 2-hour show. Yeah. You don't need to go.
Yeah. Not the full history level.
Yeah, you don't need,
yeah. So sorry.
No,
okay. I'm just going to skip ahead. I'll be really, really quick.
I say you don't need to talk so fast. It's fine. You can chill a bit with it. Chill a bit.
Yeah. I'm right. Okay. Am I talking fast? I tend to do that when I'm nervous anyway. So, but yeah, this book was Morning of the Magicians that came out in 1960. This is the first ever mention of Vril Society. Doesn't mention Maria Orsic at this point. So in 1960, the Vril Society was mentioned, and it's talking about esoteric knowledge, occult knowledge sort of blend into the German philosophy at the time. It alludes to the Vril Society, but it doesn't really go into massive amounts of detail. It just spans off to different types of philosophy around the world as well. So in the late 80s, early 90s, these documents started to come out. Okay, this is going to allude into Maria Orsic, don't worry. As I've spoken to Paul on last night's show on Hidden Underbelly show. Go check it out. We allude to where did these documents come from? There was a secret society in Vienna, which was called the Gesellschaft. Now, these were a secret organization based upon the Thaler Gesellschaft, which was set up in the early 19th century. 20th century. Actually, in 1919, he had these political opponents called Rudolf von Bottendorf, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart. These are the people that really brought the German philosophy, the Nazi philosophy of the Aryan race into fruition at the time in Germany. So the expansion of that came into this secret society in Vienna, which it's kind of hard to find this secret society, but these are the ones that brought out these documents, these photographs. And to try and find this organization, the Gesellschaft, is extremely difficult. I mean, that's my next.
Just go back a second.
Yeah, sure. That one now.
What is the one above?
That I'm not too sure. I found this. Oh no, this was taken. Here it is. George Adamski. You never heard of George Adamski from 1952? This is a photograph taken from him. Yeah,
I think that thing in the middle is supposed to be this
a flying saucer, I would imagine.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's move forward. But yeah, this is
interesting.
These documents started to come out, but it's so difficult to find out where they actually came from. When I spoke to Paul yesterday, he said these original documents were actually on A3 pieces of paper, the original documents. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see grainy stuff. I want to see the actual proof of it. And apparently it is out there, but trying to find it is difficult because he says the photographs are absolutely just unbelievable, apparently, according to Paul. But yeah, this is the George Adamski craft, as you can see. Refers to almost the Haunebu. We'll get to the Haunebu in a minute. These were like these anti-gravity craft that was linked to Maria Orsic, the Vril Society. So again, it's hard to find out where these flying saucers come from. Right, so late 80s, early 90s, you had this documentary come out in 1992 called UFOs, Secrets of World War II, German Flying Saucers. Otherwise known in German is UFOs, Third Reich Strikes Back. This came out in 1992, and this documentary came out in 1994 called UFO Secrets of the Third Reich. Apparently, it's very, very hard to find this VHS tapes, but I have 5 copies of them, so they're not exactly hard to get. At this time period, in the early 90s, Vril Society and the Vril Project really started to hit fruition with this book here. This Vril Project, which means the Vril Project in German. 2 authors called Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel. These 2 Austrians co-written this book in 1992, plus these 2 documentaries as well. And they talk about Maria Orsic and the Vril Society. So let's just get into the Vril Society, where it is today in current German UFO myth, okay? If you go onto the internet, onto, I think it's the Internet Archive, and type in the Vril Project, you will find a PDF file of this. It's about 400 pages long, and it's detailing the Maria Orsic, the flying saucers and stuff like that. So I'll go into the Maria Orsic and the Vril Society now. So this is the symbol of the Vril Society. It almost looks like the Sig rune. Remember Hidden, we talked about yesterday, the black sun symbol?
Yeah.
Could you remember that?
Yeah.
You had these, so around the black sun symbol, you had these runes, which is like it's like the lightning cross. Have you ever seen that in Germany? It's like the single lightning cross or the double lightning cross. That's called a Sig rune. That means victory in German. And they had 12 of these going around the black sun. But this is very similar to the black sun. I can't find this symbol. This is the Vril Society symbol. I can't find it anywhere in any publications from the 1919 when the Vril Society began to 1990. So that time period, you can't find the symbol anywhere.
I will vouch for that, because when I was doing the thumbnail, all I could find was modern images of this. I tried to find something that was authentic, that might look a bit faded, that I could just put on the thumbnail, and I had to kind of like I just ended up putting the symbol on the alien head.
Yeah.
I'm
going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you, Ollie. This symbol is made up. This is just a made up symbol. There's no publications. There's no actual German archive documentation to prove even that the Royal Society of Maria Orsic and this symbol even existed. But we will talk about it in a minute. We're talking about.
Do you think this is?
Yeah.
Just quickly though, do you think that's made up by the people that follow this quite heavily now? So they need like their own logo as such, their own what's the word I'm looking for?
Logo.
Yeah, logo. We'll go with logo.
Because that symbol came out in this book here. I'll bring up the original PDF file in a minute just to show you what it actually looks like. But I must stress this: the esoteric side of the German flying saucers is based upon those two Austrians, Norbert Jorgen Rathofer and Ralph Ettel. They're impossible to find. They're literally impossible. And apparently they were connected to the Telephone Gesellschaft, which was a secret society that brought out these documents and photographs that we see today on the internet. So this is the Vril Society symbol. So yeah, if you look at this, Bovril, right, take the BO out and look at that. It says Vril, isn't it? So I thought I'd just chuck that in there. Anyway, so Maria Orsic.
I'm gonna say, does Bovril have anything to do with the Vril?
I don't know. It just got the word Vril in it, so I just thought that was quite amusing. I was in the supermarket. I was like, Bovril. It's got the word Vril in it.
We could start something there, you know, yeah.
Probably the power of Vril is in history of Bovril. Anyway, it tastes like shit, by the way. So anyway, let's move on to Maria Orsic. So who was Maria Orsic? Well, she was a long blonde-haired woman. She was 6'2", tits like the front of a battleship. I mean, absolutely hot as fuck. She had a telepathic communication with an advanced beings of Aryans from a star system 68 million light years away. Okay, let's just go through this because it gets all spooky. She was employed by the Germans in 1919. And what they wanted to do is build advanced craft, to also learn about esoteric philosophy. Do you ever heard of the Anuneb? What Himmler was doing in the 1920s when he was going into Tibet, trying to find these archaeological, like the Spear of Destiny, the magical black stone, etc. You ever heard of those things before? Mm-hmm. So that's what they were doing, basically, is sort of studying this sort of knowledge. But Maria Orsic was again, powerful psychic medium. In the 1920s, apparently they met in a hunting lodge in south of Germany. And you had Maria Orsic, Rudolf von Bodendorf, Karl Haushofer, Dietrich Eckart, Rudolf Hess, and apparently Hitler was there as well, or Mustachio Man, I like to call him.
Hitler was there?
Apparently so, according to rumors, but there's no actually proof of it at the time. So what they wanted to do is that Maria Orsic was channeling a planet that was called Aldebaran, which was 68 million light years away. And this was the descendants of Aryans, apparently. So she was having communication messages from...
Sorry, Nick, say that planet's name again.
Aldebaran, which sounds like Alderaan from Star Wars, right?
Yes, it does.
This is it. Yeah. Again, this is what makes me go, I'm not too sure about
No, because this is before.
No. This story Maria Orsic's story came out in 1990. That's where her story came out. I can't find any publication from.
Oh, right, I get you.
Yeah, this is it. So she obviously was a made-up concept if we're just going by that, because there's no real evidence of her, to be honest with you. And again, so when she had these communications from the advanced civilization of Aryans, which was called Aldebaran, she was writing down Sumerian and Babylonian writing. When translated into English, it turns out these were construction plans for the Haunebu flying saucers. That's the story, okay? It wasn't really German technicians, but the Maria Orsic story, if you're going to talk about Haunebu flying saucers, you have to talk about Maria Orsic. There's no two ways through it, because the time period of where Haunebu came out and Maria Orsic and the people involved was also sort of like a made up story. Oh yeah, again, if you're going to sell books, guys, you got to really ramp it up. You can't just have like little vague stuff. You really got to ramp it up with stuff. So I believe personally that's where Maria Orsic sort of stems from. So that is the crumbs of what the Vril Society and Maria Orsic was. They were just sort of channeling advanced Aryans to find esoteric knowledge, but also to build flying machines, and also the time machine as well, which I'll show in a minute. But Maria Orsic, you will find so many pictures of Maria Orsic. This is the first one that is on the documentary. It's just a sketch. That's all it is. If we skip forward to the real picture of Maria Orsic, which was from this book, the Vril Project. So this is Maria Orsic. No, that's not Maria Orsic. That's Maria Orsic. So you can tell she's quite beautiful. That's not Maria Orsic. That's actually Maria Orsic. No, I'm only joking. That's Maria Orsic. No, I'm joking. That's Maria Orsic. So you see what I'm going through. There are so many photographs online of what Maria Orsic looks like. It really is based upon this quail photograph here. I mean, she looks like a quail in that. It's just a sketch. But
to be fair to those pictures, they all look like a similar person.
They kind of, but if you think, Lee, this sketch here was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Then this picture came out. So this was in 1992 in February. And in April, this came out in that book. And then obviously you had these sort of spin-off. That was the next one. So you will see all these almost similarities for sure, but it's not. It's just taking a sketch from that one and then drawn to that one and then drawn to that one. So it's just obviously people making up stuff, trying to make her look very, very beautiful, which I have to admit, but
it's strange that they've all given her such large eyes.
Yeah, which is part of the Aryan sort of the blonde hair, blue eyes, but it's very piercing. Apparently, the blue eyes. I like this photograph because this has been going around. Now, who's that, guys? If you're in England, you know who that is. Model, British model.
Is it Melinda Messenger?
No, it's Kate Moss.
Kate Moss.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's Kate Moss. Yeah, I did find the original photograph. So what someone has actually done, they've got the picture of Mustachio Man and they cropped Kate Moss's face and put it onto Mustachio Man's face. So again, you get these photographs circling online about Maria Orsic.
Also, nobody did that as a piss take. They did that to actually. I mean, that's a really bad Photoshop job as well. I mean, I could do better than that.
Exactly, yeah. It's but these are like 20 years old. That's been cropped, but you can clearly see it's just Mustachio Man here with Kate Moss's face onto it. So I'm going to come off. This is all my presentation for the time being on the Vril and Maria Orsic. Actually, I tell you what, Ollie, I'm going to bring up the Vril Project book. I hope I'm not boring you guys.
No, mate. Like I say, I had no idea the history of it, so I wanted to hear the history of it before we even touched on the time. Because we're gonna for anybody in the chat, we're gonna go through some time travel stuff along with some pictures of possible time travelers, and are they time travelers? Do you believe in time travel? But I just wanted to know what the Vril was because I know it had something to do with time travel.
Yeah. If you bring up this page, Ollie, this is from the Vril Project from 1992, and this is
obviously little things underneath the flying saucer.
Yeah, I mean the idea is what they were doing is they was having these metal discs and they were counter rotating it, and apparently it defined gravity. I mean, if you want to define gravity, I think electricity is one way of doing it. From the research that I've done. But apparently in 1925, they had created a time machine. And apparently this time machine was dismantled in 1930s and then put back together. And Maria Orsic used that time machine to fly off back to Aldebaran. So that's the story of the Vril and the time machine. It's just stories. There's nothing like a massive amount of detail. I mean, I've read through the Vril Project and it's nothing to really go by. It's just a bunch of like hearsay stuff, which unfortunately is a lot of ufology. But yeah, this is the only sketch of the time machine from the Vril Society.
So right, so now I get like the backstory of the Vril. Let's move
Yeah.
on to the time traveling ship, because
Yeah.
there is some videos out there, and I put one of the videos in the intro of the Charlie Chaplin thing, and I was blown away by that, because I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking, is this? In fact, I'll bring it up for you guys and we'll have a chat about it. But thank you for that, Nick, because none of us had any idea about the history of the
Did
Vril.
that,
I know
did
it's
that
very
make
brief.
any sense?
Yeah,
Did that make any sense at all?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
The way they talk about Vril, though, it also reminds me of ether.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Which all spans back to ancient times. I mean, a lot of German philosophy, especially their esoteric knowledge, is based upon like the Hindu religion. I mean, like look at the swastika is technically a Hindu symbol. You will always find that what they were doing back in the 1920s when Himmler was going out and finding these artifacts. They were also learning about the Aryan race as well. So you had this occult mythology, like Babylonian myth and Sumerian sort of stuff started to come into it. So yeah.
What's his name? The guy from Bright Insight that does all the Egyptology stuff. He's been on Rogan a few times. He put a tweet out the other day of some designs that were on in the ancient ruins somewhere. I can't remember where. I think it was one that was in South America, and then another one which was in Egypt, and they both had essentially like swastikas sewn into these designs that were on both these things, and like he believes that the swastika is a symbol which essentially comes back from a global civilization, and it's evidence of a global civilization.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's everywhere.
Back to this. Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
What was the 6'2" blonde's name again?
Maria Orsic. And she also had
important question: who's hotter, her or Ollie's mom? Ollie's mom.
I did not see that coming.
That's what she said.
It's always the same. Always the same. I fucking love it. Right. So this one is I came across this one. I'm thinking, could it be that she's just touching her face and she happens to have something in her hand? Do you know what I mean? Well, that one I would say, for me, it could be anything.
When's this from? What, like the 50s, 60s?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 50s. Yeah.
Earlier, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine her husband probably, told her not to burn the chicken again. She's still remembering last night's lesson.
Serenade.
I believe that I've watched some people talk about this, and the same goes for this next video. There was a small like hearing device of the time.
Yes,
Serenade.
yes, there was. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. The one that I always think of is that could be credible. Have you ever seen the one with the Mike Tyson fight?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy and it looks like the guy's using an iPhone to film it.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
But yet there weren't. The iPhone hadn't been invented.
I think there's another thing with that one though, where it's that there is a camera that looks like that of the time as well.
Was there
just a still camera? Yeah, I'm sure of it.
Okay.
I'd have to go and look at it because here's me. I'm probably quoting like Corridor Crew or something, but I remember seeing something about it.
This one though, I mean, I was watching this today, and when I was editing into the video and slowing it down, and like this is interesting because it's the mannerisms. Like if you watch this one. So what you're saying with like the speaking thing, like the hearing aid, but it's like, you know, when I imagine myself stopping in the street just to kind of like.
So the thing is, let's say it is a cell phone, right? Who are they talking to?
Who the fuck are they talking to?
So that would propose like quantum entanglement works across time, not just distance, right? And somehow their phone's entangled to the future, so they can say, "Hey, I'm back at the fair looking at this giant zebra's ass. It's amazing. It's everything they said it was going to be." Seems unlikely. You know, she could be schizophrenic, just holding a wad of a pamphlet like they were holding out to everyone, right? And she's always talking to herself. I got a schizophrenic guy goes up and down the streets with a big stick, slamming it on all the four-way stop signs at like 2 a.m. So, you know, these things happen.
The other thing to remember about this one as well is was this film for the premiere of the Charlie Chaplin film, or was it part of a Charlie Chaplin film?
That I don't know.
Because it's definitely it is from Charlie Chaplin, but yeah. I'm not sure whether it's them filming the like just people walking past, or whether it was a scene from the film. Because if it's a scene from the film, then it's set, isn't it? So
yeah, it's taking direction offset. Yeah,
and at that point, you know, it's whatever that would be. It's a creative decision to have it there.
For the audience that are listening on audio only, we love you.
Not today, we don't.
We are watching. We are watching somebody from like Charlie Chaplin. When was Charlie Chaplin filmed? It's like fucking
1920s, isn't it?
1920s.
Yeah,
1920s. We were watching somebody on a mobile phone. What it looks like.
Well, we don't know they're on a mobile phone.
Somebody with their hand
up,
to their head.
Something in their hand, and they're up to their head, and it appears they're talking to themselves. They're definitely talking to. Maybe they're talking to themselves. But if it is a self, like say it's some kind of technical device used for communication, and they are a time traveler, right? So maybe it is a quantum entangled device, and those apparently work through time, not just distance. What are they saying? Like, you think they take better steps, right? It's like, ooh, I'm going to be on that video. You know, this film. I'm sneaking in the background, save this spot, and look for it, or. Like that act, if they're on a device walking and talking in a public place, that is going to be so alien to everyone else around them. How is nobody else reacting to it?
Yeah.
Right? Point, like to us, that's a normal behavior. To them, nobody's doing that. That is an alien behavior. You know, unless they're mentally ill and everyone's just, man, walk faster. It's a crazy lady that talks into her hand.
She's a lady. Her feet are massive.
Hey, it's weird that you noticed that. I mean, it's a whole different show topic.
How can you tell she's fit? Oh yeah, they're massive. Oh yeah, like the size of them, like clown feet.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys should be having a show on the OnlyFans channel for this topic. But so I mean, that's the thing. Like, okay, let's say it is. Why is no one else reacting to her talking into a device at her head?
Is this just like a normal shot, just filming the public, or is it actually these are like stage actors? So actually, right, you do this and you do this, so it's actually planned ahead.
No, sure. I believe it was a like B-roll from the beginning of like a premiere for a Charlie Chaplin film. So you know this was the day it was coming out, and they had like B-roll of people just walking past the cinema it was going to be at.
What if they know they're on camera? What if that's a man dressed up like a woman and it's a gag? It's like, I'm going to dress up like a woman and walk in the background of a Charlie Chaplin. I know they're filming. This is going to be funny. Well, I'm going to hold my hand up so they can't see me, and they're talking to someone off camera.
I think it's totally fine. We should change the metaphysics of how we interact with men and women. Move forward.
Yeah. Well, obviously, what was the really hot woman who's not as hot as Ollie's mom from the Vril?
Maria Orsic.
Thank you.
Maria Orsic.
She could be transgender. We don't know. I feel like we're assuming a lot of things. She's 6'2", right? Come on,
That's
She's
tall.
got massive tits,
come
though.
on.
Huge
What's that?
feet.
She's got
Yeah. Just trying to be forward thinking here.
The funny thing with time travel is that as soon as it's invented, it's there. So it's one of the the coolest conspiracy theories, because if it's possible and if it happens, the minute even if it's invented in 3,000 years time, the minute it's invented in 3,000 years time, it's already a thing now.
Yes,
because it's coming.
yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I've always been so interested in it. To just think, like, at what point are people just like zipping around, and that's such a scary thought that if it was possible to do that, you could. Everything could be changed overnight or in a split second without even noticing it, because somebody had gone back in time and done something, and that just alters the timeline from before you were born, and everything changes around you. It could be happening. It could have happened a million times to us, and we'd have no idea of it.
it's very true. I mean, that is the thing about time travel. Like, once you're 100% right. Once it's invented, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. If it's possible.
I heard like only time travel can be possible going forward, not back. That's what I've heard of. That's like these people that's been looking into it.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, because realistically, all you would have to do is to work out how to not make yourself age, and to to just keep yourself in a position until time passes around you, and then at the point that you want time to stop passing around, you want to step out, you're out, and then you're into the future. That makes sense. The idea of time travel backwards not being possible is because, as far as we're concerned, when we think of time, yesterday's gone. In order to go back in time, yesterday would still have to be there.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, put it this way: if time travel going back in time was possible, I'm pretty sure someone might have stopped, Hitler or the World War, because that's a pretty plenty thing.
If they did that, though, then time travel wouldn't happen. You run into those paradoxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start creating them. If you change it, then you make a new timeline. Then everything splits. Like, you can't kill baby
kill baby Hitler. For instance, there's no blitz. There's no blitz. Then people don't have to rebuild the country. There's no sort of like industrial boom around fixing what happens in wars. Like where does a country end up without that forced reset, which is obviously quite a cool topic at the minute. It would be so dangerous to even just do a small thing, like to go and help your neighbor, like because she fell over and like broke her neck at some point, and then the next thing is you go, right, just gonna go back, gonna help Doris, make sure she doesn't end up in a wheelchair. You go back in time, you help Doris. It turns out she ends up being like the most prolific serial killer the world's ever seen.
That's possible, isn't it? I mean, anything is that sort of possibility for that. Yeah, that's crazy. It just takes like the one smallest thing. I can remember the Simpsons episode. If you're just like standing on a bug or something like that, it can change the course of history. Like the smallest, tiniest little thing.
What's with the mobile phone? Why is it always mobile phones though? That's one of the main things that's been coming up that I've been looking at is mobile phones.
Think of the technology. Like, there's something I think about when I look at like the bags, the people carrying the bags around the world, right? And all the hieroglyphs and ancient stone structures. Graham Hancock talks about it a lot. People with the bags, right? People with the wings and the bags, faces of different animals, but the people with the bags. Little handles look like little man purses or whatever. The amount of technology, right, we have in our phone is unbelievable. It's unbelievable amount of technology. I mean, this is a GPS, it's a tracker, the things your camera can do, the ability to search through things. I mean, even offline, it's still an incredible tool.
Yeah.
Take it forward. Take our technology forward 1,000 years. What could something the size of like an iPad or a handbag do then?
That's what the guy had.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It was a mobile camera at the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thank
So like
you.
that makes sense for me on that. And I always wonder why you see those things older. Like that throws me back to older civilizations, older connections, or whatever.
Bring that back up, Lee.
You
Bring-
bastard.
Yeah. I think there's a greater argument that you can make for like transdimensional travel than time travel.
Transdimensional travel.
Yeah. Higher, lower, parallel. It's the one thing all the physicists are big on, that there are other dimensions, there are other different levels. What are they at now? 11 or 12, they believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would, but like time travel, I don't know. It's fun theory, makes for good movies, but I don't know, man. Like if it existed, we would see it. And I don't think it would be hints of things like, I'm going to go back and see the Tyson fight and film with my camera that I'm not supposed to have. Because the people sending you back would instantly know that that's what you did. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That is that. I think.
is that,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, good catch, man.
Because
That's good
I
catch.
always thought it was pretty compelling. Let's say, I believed it.
Time travel?
No, I believed that one. So thank you.
Weird thing is, Hidden, so did Mike Tyson. Like,
Did he?
There's an interview with Mike Tyson saying there's a fucking mobile phone filming Mike. Yeah, here we go.
Well, I'm not going to argue with Mike Tyson then. So there you go.
I love Mike Tyson.
I'll leave that down to Jake. Let him argue with him.
Yeah. To address something really quickly, I do like fanny packs. You're right. The American fanny pack. I know it's different than the UK translation. What do you call them over there?
Bun bags.
The guy now.
Bag.
Thank you.
Oh, bum bags, yeah.
Is this when he was high though?
Oh, he's high as a motherfucker.
He's always high.
Yeah, not no more. Have you seen him? Have you seen him now?
Yeah. He's better high. He's a lot safer for the rest of the world.
Yeah, because that's what he's saying about Paul. Logan Paul's brought out the animal in him because he hasn't, since he started training, he ain't had a smoke, ain't had nothing.
Yeah, it's not the best wisdom there.
I'm looking forward to that though.
Me too.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Me and my mate we were speaking about it last night. So we have to have the get together when that happens. Do you think that it's possible? Do you think that we've got people that have been going back in time and messing about with it? I mean, we spoke about Mandela effect before, and that's almost like people have been messing with time.
Mm-hmm.
But
there have been some historical cases where I don't know if you would call it time travel though, where like somebody from like say Brazil turned up in Mexico or something, and they have no idea how they got there.
There was a story of a man that appeared in the middle of Times Square, I think it was, and I think he was hit by a car and killed.
Do you have that, Lee?
No, I don't. And he was found with a with a passport that didn't belong to any country. There was another person that was found disorientated, asking where he was and what year it was. And when he was taken to the police station, what I'll say is I remember this story. If somebody can point out whether this is just something that was on Reddit or 4chan or something like that, that'd be great. As far as I'm concerned, telling the story, it's a historical event. But if it's not, don't come after me and murder my family. Like I know how X can get these days when it comes to conspiracy theories. But yeah, he was found disorientated, didn't know what was going on. He had ID for a country that didn't exist. He had money that nobody had ever seen. When he explained where he came from, it was like another landmass that isn't on Earth. He was put in a cell, not because he was sort of essentially arrested, but he was put in a cell overnight because they didn't know what the fuck was going on with him. And in the morning, the guy disappeared.
What, from the cell? Or did he walk out and just disappear?
Well, that's all it said. So I would imagine, especially back then, because it was in the 40s, I think it was, something like that. I would imagine they just locked him in the cell. I wouldn't think, I don't think that have left it open for him. But again, I don't know whether it's a creepypasta or whether it's like a fictional story.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the video of? Do you obviously know the Y-Files?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did one on time travel, and there was a guy, I can't remember, who apparently built a portal time machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on Art Bell's radio show. It's quite a famous radio show that he was on, talking about his time travel. It might have been Art Bell, actually. You guys have heard of that? Y-Files not long ago did an episode on it.
I will have watched it because I love the Y-Files. I think he's doing some great work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't remember that specific one. I do remember a time traveler claim. I can't remember the dude's name. It's from the late 90s, early 2000s. He had posted a picture of himself in his time travel vehicle, which was like a car. And he's like, the generator was in the back, and he explained how the magnetic fields and everything. It was all online. And the interesting thing is, the laser it like bent, and he was like showing to like how they bend gravity to travel. He says it's not so much time travel as it is jumping to different lines. They had to come back in time to get some IBM computer technology to fix something from way, way in the future. And everyone was like, this is real. This is fake. This is real. And then the guy just disappeared. I just always kind of took it as potentially one of the best trolls of all time. You know what I mean?
I can't remember what that guy's name is.
Yeah, I can't either. But I've been hitting the head a lot. So.
I remember that story because they were trying to say that there's a part in there that, because they were saying that what he was saying did make sense.
Their big argument was the laser bending, like the picture with the laser being bent, and people were like, "Oh, whoa, that's just who cares what he's saying? This is like the laser shouldn't bend," you know. But maybe it was film, maybe whatever. At that time, it was funner to get away with things. I think.
Was it cult? Was it cult something?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think it started with an R. Can't remember. I cannot remember.
It makes me think, if you do manage to achieve time travel, what it would actually do to the body, like the transformation between being a physical self and then appearing somewhere else, but your materialistic body is, almost like the Infinity War thing. We know they start going into like dust and all that.
Yeah.
When it's a tricky one, isn't it?
I always wondered if John Titor was his name.
Okay. Did you guys ever see Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
I was just
Yeah. Say, I love the whole same matter can't exist in the same space.
Yeah.
They go back and see themselves, and then he, spin kicks that guy halfway. Well, no, he did the air turning split kick thing that he loves so much. And they like meld into a,
I always like Back to the Future when Marty nearly fucked his own mom. That always.
I'm sure you did. I've seen your mom.
Don't.
To be fair, Ollie, that was a terrible mistake.
I'm sorry. Like I couldn't even hold it back. I was trying. I swear to God, I was trying. And it's like, nope, you're gonna say this.
The one thing that I never understood about Back to the Future, when he went back and he met his mom, he was obviously that age, yeah. So when he was in his normal time zone, how come the mom nor the dad recognized him as that stranger that they met many years ago when they were teenagers?
Because when you almost fuck your son before he was born, you just don't speak about it again.
And time goes by. You don't recognize someone from when they were a kid, right? Like they had all the life and, brain trauma and, they led paint from that time. Eating them paint chips doesn't lend a good memory. They're smoking like a freight train. She's obviously an alcoholic.
I'm not going to poke holes in people's films.
Do you do you think that would have been like a Christmas conversation, and all of a sudden, like the mum had a couple of too many drinks, she's like, I want to say something. All he hears from the kitchen, the husband going, "Shut up, dear. We don't need to talk about this now."
Aren't you Calvin Klein?
It's they say it's possible though. They say that time isn't it. Don't they say it's possible to go forward in time, but not back in time?
To go forward as well as you approach the speed of light, like what is it, time dilation, and the difference at which you experience time changes, which is a form of travel going forward.
Didn't Einstein say that you can't go forward because the time hasn't been written yet?
No, I mean not like a leap, but like if you're going toward at like allegedly the speed of light, you experience time differently than everyone else back on Earth. So if you're going to 10 years for you, I don't know the math, so I'm just saying like 40 years back home, right? So a 10-year trip there, 10-year trip back, you did 20 years in space. Everybody here is 80 years older, or 120, or whatever it is.
Well, that's kind of like a proven fact, because isn't there time loss when astronauts go into our lower orbit?
With there's time loss the further you get away from Earth. You can use atomic clocks to
that's it.
If you stick an atomic clock on a plane and an atomic clock next near the water, those two clocks will have different times on them. I can't remember which way it goes. I can't remember whether time moves quicker when you're closer to the ocean or whether you're further away from it. I think that validates time isn't real. It's a measure of itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a measure of itself that's affected by density and gravity.
And we fucked it. We fucked like even like morons like me trying to get our heads around this sort of stuff, because then we decided to measure like units of existence as time as well.
Yeah.
So we think of time as in like I spent 8 hours at work, and we use it as a system of measurement. Whereas there's a huge difference between time and then when we're talking about time travel, which would be space time. I think.
Yeah, you're quite right, Dave. I think I don't want to like divert the subject, but if you take a big dose of mushrooms, time does not exist. Like literally, time is not even a factor. It changes your chemical compound, and it's just that's what I've experienced anyway.
Not to go fucking mental again on like my trip thing, but before I actually started tripping out on that big one, time started delivering itself to me in fragmented form. So the conversations we were having, I was getting the end of the conversation, then the beginning of the conversation, and then the middle would turn up. And it was fucking brutal. Yeah. But yeah, that threw me for a loop. I did not understand. Literally threw me for a loop. But yeah, I didn't expect that at all. But that's the easiest way to say is that I was getting the end of a conversation and then the beginning of the conversation there, and I kind of knew what was coming because it was like getting the answer before the question was asked. It was odd.
I like this, that time doesn't exist in higher dimensions. It's a 3D illusion. I definitely think it's illusion. I think, the whole relative, like we're talking about relativity, right? It's relative. It's Einstein's whole thing of when a hot woman sits in your lap, time goes much faster than if you're at your stupid job, putting peanuts in peanut shells, or picking fly shit out of pepper. Like it just moves slow when you're something miserable. When you're having an amazing time, it just flies by. It's a relative experience. Like it doesn't feel to be measured, right? The way we experience it. So, yeah, that's kind of what leads me to think that time travel is not a thing, because time isn't a thing. And moving at the speed of light only matters if we're not on a flat disk. That's for you, Ollie. That's my apology.
You see, this one I always found intriguing, but then
Homeboy stands out, definitely.
he does. His sunglasses, everything. But then there's this here that was the kind of the debunk from it. Is
I can't see that, Ollie. It's very small on that screen. If you can zoom into it, that would be awesome.
How do you zoom in on a website?
You might be able to just use the mouse scrolly wheel.
Click it.
Just
click zoom.
No, it doesn't do anything.
No.
Doesn't do anything.
We're doomed. It's okay.
You can't see that?
No.
I mean, I can see it. It's just small.
Basically, they've got the M on their jumpers.
The Freemason, right?
No, I think it's like some sort of rugby team or something. I have no hockey
hockey.
team. It's a hockey team, and
Yeah.
like
Right.
say, this guy's a hockey team. But it looks to me also like he's got a fucking hoodie on.
Oh, it's not a new invention. There's nothing new. It's just redesigns of old things.
Mm.
You know, Moody had made that point in a comment earlier when we were talking about the little camera that the guy was holding. Just older things get redesigned into new ways. People are like, I like that design. I like where this is going. You know, I can't imagine a hoodie is really all that different than the old ponchos they used to wear. You know, somebody somewhere threw a zipper or some buttons on it.
A hoodie's just a jumper which is split down the middle. You know.
Yeah. Whatever those things are. We're looking at horses?
Are we looking at Ollie?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what was it? The foe of the man
with
a punk haircut.
That's the thing. Is that
that's Peaky Blinders, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit of a reach there.
That's a reach, yeah. Especially when it comes to hairstyles, man. They zooming in on his crotch.
A picture of his cock. Yeah, like
These
that's
time
definitely trouble.
Man takes picture of penis before he could send it to unsuspecting women. Evidence of time travel.
First dick pic.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, these pictures can be faked, but nevertheless, it's very entertaining. I mean,
I don't think they're being faked. I think some people may be reaching, but the Charlie Chaplin one, I do find that one intriguing. Mm-hmm. I think the Mike Tyson one's definitely been debunked. That is definitely that gadget, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But the Charlie Chaplin one, the mannerisms that which she turns and she's still having a conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked pretty wild.
You could just
I like the dick pic for the ages. That's great, James.
So, okay, I'm because it's one of my favorite subjects, and I think it comes very fitting in with this. Because Mandela effects. Does anybody buy into that?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with the Mandela. I've had a Mandela effect happen. Like I told you guys, the damn trivia game thing. Yeah,
there's loads. Mr. Monopoly not having a fucking monocle is wild.
Right?
The
Ford logo.
I don't know. This is one for the Brits. Do you guys remember the like blue ribbon?
I found that, Lee. That was mine.
You didn't. I showed it to you.
It was me. Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. That's also a Mandela.
Let him have it, Lee. Come on.
Nope. That's a Mandela effect now. I'll find it because it's fucking wild.
100% it was me. I sent you a picture of a blue ribbon. You went, that's wrong.
Nope.
Is
this is
there
exactly what happened, Dolly.
Blue ribbons?
You just need to swap people around.
I'll go back to our fucking messages.
Why does the Mandela effect always affect advertising and nothing else?
It doesn't. It affects other details. So like what I had it happen with was like the Moody, what's the name of it? Katami, the Katami code from like playing Contra back in the day. The add 30 life. I distinctly remember, maybe it's me misremembering. That's a very likely possibility. but I distinctly remember up, down, left, right, A, B, B, A, start.
What was this for?
A trivia. Oh, that for a video game, to get more lives playing a video game called Contra.
What game?
Contra.
Right.
Yeah. And so the actual answer they gave was up, down, left, right, A, B, or B, A, start. I've never hit that. Like that was, I can just see myself as a kid, typing that away, like, ooh, got to get more lives because I'm dying. And when the room I was in with the people I was in, which are all, other than me, they're all smart people. I'm definitely bringing the IQ average down there. Half of the room was like, no, it is up, down, left, right, A, B, B, A, start. And the other half was, no, it's up, down, left, right, B, A, start. So they ended up giving the point to everyone because everyone was conflicting.
Was that game out for the Sega as well, though?
I don't know, man. I played it on Nintendo. It's one of the few video games in my life I've played, and that's kind of why it stood out to me.
I'm just wondering if it. I think it was a Super Nintendo exclusive. I think I'm not 100% on that. With it being that
this was regular Nintendo.
Yeah,
old school regular Nintendo. I grew up poor. So yeah, it. But anyway, the room itself, and that's what I told my friend when I was there. This is a very Mandela effect thing. You have these people who are highly intelligent, who are all breaking different. So I didn't feel bad, and she just ended up giving the point to everyone because it was like it's not worth the fight. This is a trivia game for shits and giggles. Let's move on. Everybody gets the point. Let's continue.
Yeah, I've got like two ideas of what the Mandela effect could be. Obviously, there's the classic where like we're ripping holes in space and time in at CERN, and like various like timelines are just meshing together, and we're getting little bits and bobs from other places. Yeah, that's it's a classic conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm with Moody on this. Moonraker, she had braces.
100%.
She did. Absolutely.
She had braces. 100%.
Because it was the only thing that made sense. Otherwise, it's just a hot girl falling in love with a monster.
Well,
the reason the hot girl fell in love with the monster
is because he had braces as well.
They were both
he had
monsters.
The metal mouth.
Well, what's happened now? She doesn't have braces.
She has no braces. She has normal teeth.
Never has done.
I remember that because I remember her grinning at him.
Then you're with us and you remember
Ollie,
it wrong.
bring it up. It'll be on YouTube.
I didn't even know that was a Mandela effect.
Yes, Moonraker. Right. So Hidden?
Because she smiles at him. She smiles at him and you can see the braces.
Ollie, bring the clip up. Have a look for it.
No braces, Hidden.
Yeah, she's no braces. I'm not going to put this on screen, but Aragami Sensei, this makes sense. It comes down to the double slit experiment. Got to move this down. We humans are unable to experience the true nature of the universe unfiltered. Our brains can only process fraction of worlds like a video. I guess it means video game loading. When you have billions of people doing that, we're all tapping in different realities. Maybe. I think that's interesting. I'll be honest. That's an interesting way to frame it.
That goes along with the no one ever sees the same color the same. Because of the way we perceive things, we'll all see blue slightly differently because we've got different eyes.
Yeah, we might not see blue at all. We could all be wrong. We could all be wrong about how we interpret something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, very much so. But with that, I have to go. I'm going to have to leave you, sexy gentlemen, to the 395 people watching.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Before you go, there you go.
No, I don't remember her in that top. I remember her in like a spacesuit, right?
This whole scene doesn't make sense.
There's the braces.
Yeah, she's got the braces there.
She's got the braces on right there. Go back. Yeah, she had braces on.
I think it was just shining her teeth,
Nope.
I saw them. I saw the braces.
Yeah.
I think maybe we might have remembered them bolder.
Jaws. There they are.
Yeah, you know why? Because somebody's fixed it in visual effects. She
I think
didn't
you're
have
right.
it. She didn't. This is the original.
Who is that actress, by the way?
What have we got?
Shiny. Yeah, there they are.
Oh,
The braces there.
that does look like braces.
Yeah, she's got braces.
So where does that? So see, this is the thing, then, isn't it? With Mandela effects, like, are they just lie ones?
Well, it's like the Fruit of the Loom and the cornucopia, right? Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia growing up. There's a cornucopia that held all the fruit. And people are like,
always
no,
saw
it's
that.
never been part of it. Yeah, people find tags and shirts with the damn cornucopia. They're like, yes, you had it.
No braces.
And I should brace it.
I'm
I'm gonna leave you boys to this mystery. You guys have a good night. Don't forget
You
to
too.
like, subscribe, share,
Cheers, mate.
check out Conspiracy Mothership and Alien Attic. Share with everyone watching. We got more good shit. Peace out, everybody.
there you
Yeah,
keep
but
going.
Cheers, Dave.
Much
Yeah,
love, man.
I think it's just because
Fine,
we're
isn't it?
watching a compressed video as well. There's loads of photographs in her in that film
That one looks like
without
she don't.
braces.
That one looks like she don't have no
Yeah.
braces, but I don't know. It could be like, yeah, what you're saying, compression.
So the fuzzy one that I brought where she had braces, that was a new one. So I think they made it look fuzzy from the
In the real,
recreation
yeah.
one. So here we go. This is from 7 years ago.
This looks like the same
That's
video.
gonna be
you just pulled
awful.
up.
That's going to be awful.
Yeah.
It's definitely awful, but
No, I mean, you won't be able to tell
Yeah,
anything
you won't be able to
anyways.
tell. That also looked like there was glitching around the mouth, like that's been done in post processing as well. See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone's dicked with that. Someone's dicked with her mouth. There's no braces though.
But are you
7
sure
years ago.
you? Do you think someone's actually just cropped out the braces and just put it out there as like a
No,
troll?
I do because I know this is quite a famous Mandela effect. I think in the proper movie, she doesn't have braces.
yes,
And she I remember her having them. I think now because the Mandela effect has just got so crazy that it's people have just gone in and started doing shit. The other one I don't remember either is I don't remember C-3PO having a silver leg. I remember him having 2 gold legs.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
The Ford logo's fucking wild. That's
It
absolutely
was
play
wild.
this. I don't care if we lose the if we lose the
before they
monetization.
launched CERN,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
Large
we all
Hadron
thought that it was
Collider,
going to open up a a black hole.
that it would create a particle that would devour the fabric of
They
the
thought it was-
universe.
They thought it was a black hole that would expand and expand and
Yeah.
expand until
Maybe it did.
What?
Maybe it did.
God, man.
Maybe we restarted.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe-
maybe we're in a parallel
right.
universe.
Wow.
Maybe we were knocked off our timeline into another place.
Yeah.
just say Joe knows his cars as well. So before you
Oh,
even get this,
I know this. Like,
the
and
car fanatic.
I have 2 Fords. Well, I've owned 2 Fords in my life. And when
I've owned one.
when I found out about this, like I went out and I looked at my car and I couldn't understand it because the Ford logo had always been another way in my mind. And then, it's really, that really freaked me out. It still freaks me out when I look at my steering wheel.
Mate, my
Got a Ford
Fiesta
now.
never had that little shitty thing.
No.
Makes
Right.
less sense.
Yeah, it was the thing that's going around the internet a little while ago,
trails.
that the evidence of multiple universes that we pop in and out of different
Yes.
realities,
Right.
like the fact that
It's a multiverse.
like the
That's how we
Ford
all live.
logo. Let's say, do you recognize this part of the Ford logo? And they say most people never noticed it. There's a weird little squiggle in the F.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
And
the
they said,
the
you know,
FedEx thing blows people's minds too.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's the arrow.
What arrow?
Oh,
Exactly.
Hmm.
Bring up FedEx. If
Yeah.
you never, if you'll never not see the arrow again.
Hmm.
Yeah, same thing with the Ford logo. It's like there's
Yeah,
the
it's
Ford,
like
it's not a normal
so. It's all
F.
perceptions. It's like
Hmm.
it's been there the whole time, and I didn't.
FedEx.
I didn't know there was an arrow there.
Yeah, there are people who insist that
Oh.
The FedEx
Oh.
arrow is really
Oh, interesting.
Where is
Okay,
it?
but that's an accidental arrow.
no.
You think so?
Mm, where's
They
it?
designed
That's
it
not
in
an
there.
accident.
They did?
Where's the
Yeah.
arrow?
They
Yeah,
definitely
where's
designed
the-
it right
Oh
there.
yeah, right there.
Where?
Hmm?
The white part.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
an
that.
arrow?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, never
now
see it
I
again,
see it.
or never
Now-
not see it again.
I know it's funny,
Huh?
Now I see
but I
it.
mean that could
Oh,
be
the
like
Ford.
the universe,
Yeah, here's
right?
the Ford. Yeah, the
What's
little
the Ford
squiggle,
thing?
little squiggle in the F.
Jesus.
Why is that a squiggle? Why is it
I never
squiggled?
saw that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Who
'Cause it
the
actually
fuck makes an
spells-
F like that?
Yeah,
But
there-
That means it actually spells fjord.
yeah.
Or Ford.
Fjord.
Ford. Is that an I? What is it?
Why
Yeah.
would they squiggle that?
Why did they do that?
Oh, it's not
Ooh,
there.
It didn't used to do that.
Breaks my brain, the Ford one. Breaks my fucking brain.
My one, the dairy cow. Because even my mum was going, yeah, she had the the dairy cow, the cheese. They had the nose.
There we go.
Was it the nose
Mhm.
ring? And apparently,
Yep.
it hasn't got no nose ring. And it was my mum was going, no, it definitely had a nose ring. And I was with her, kind of like having an argument between back and forth. I'm like,
What's
no,
that, the
honestly, man,
chocolate?
like, no, the cheese. You know, the cheese, the dairy cow cheese in England. Have you seen
Oh,
it?
it's
like
got
a big
the
round-
white cow with the red nose. Is that it?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
bring it up?
yeah, that's the one.
You bring
Yeah.
it up,
Yeah,
bring it up, mate.
It really stands to attention for me, and the C3PO one as well. That just
Yeah.
I clearly remember having 2 gold legs.
I mean, one of the massive ones for me, like Star Wars has got more than one. Like, it's got so many. I think it's got like 3 or 4. Obviously, it's got the C3PO. It's got the "I am your father" thing. But do you guys remember Chewbacca not receiving a medal? Or did he get a medal?
No, I don't. I
No.
don't. See, I'm not a big
I
enough
remember-
Star Wars fan for it.
remember
I liked
Chewbacca
it.
Bent down because he had to. It was a comedy moment because he was so fucking tall and he had to do the big fucking bend for it to put. Does anybody in the chat remember this, by the way? Because this is one that people don't speak about a lot. But Chewbacca had to do an overbend, like for Princess Leia to put the medal on him, but he doesn't get a medal now. What the actual fuck?
I don't
Paul
remember
Robinson
him
said
getting the medal.
Paul Robinson said people on set didn't recognize Silver Leg. So is there footage out there of that we can find, Paul, of them talking about that? Because yeah, it does. Oh, I Am Your Father as well. That, I mean, is it Lawrence Fishburne that played
Second.
Darth Vader?
No, it's
No, what's his name?
Earl Lee Jones. or
Yeah,
something.
Lee Jones. That's it. Like he was on a talk show, and he said the line wrong, like the most famous line he'll ever say. And when he was he was talking about it, he said, "Oh, you know that the line." He said that when I was reading the script, and when I read it, and it was like, "Luke, I am your father." And then when you go back and listen to the film, watch the film now, it is, "No, I am your father."
That's true, because if you go on YouTube, there is an original recording from actually in the cinema when he says the line, and it is different. 100%.
Is
it's
it
different?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think you could play it because of Star Wars. They'd actually struck a channel for that sort of stuff. But I guarantee I have seen it 100%. The line is different.
Mm.
Hey, Ollie, I'm going to bring up
documentary.
Here, Ollie, check this out. Bring up the laughing cow. I hope this clock is going to ring. Now, did this cow have a nose ring or not?
Yes, it did.
Absolutely, that
Had a
did.
big fucking
Yeah.
gold thing, and it's no, yeah.
Yes.
It
And
looked
once it-
stupid
now.
without it.
It does look
Yeah.
stupid without it. The
Are you sure that's not like a rebrand or something like they don't want to?
No. Honestly, this is I looked for the original one as well, and it's still nothing. And I could clearly remember having the nose ring 100%.
It's really weird. I don't
Yeah.
like it seems like such a strange thing, and part of me wonders whether it's like with the proper tinfoil hat on. Are these little things done just to kind of discombobulate people?
Yeah, I like that.
You know, so for people like us, which are into conspiracy theories, we're looking and going, "Oh, that's really weird." But for people that don't like dabble in this stuff, it just makes them feel a bit stupid. You know, like one day they would go,
No,
"Oh,
but
hang
Lee,
on."
that would mean that whoever they are, they would have to go into everybody's fucking basements and fucking lofts or whatever and drawers, get everybody's Star Wars copy and fucking change it.
That's fair. No, that's a good point, Ollie. It's a good point. Don't know. I know I've still got money.
Unless
I know I've still
TV
got a money box at my mum's house that I need to. I should go in and have a look and see if C3PO still has the 2 gold legs like I remember him having.
Also, you've got the books. I mean, I'm not, because I'm from the UK. I don't think Bernstein Bears weren't a thing in the UK, is it?
Bernstein Bears wasn't.
No, but I know for if Dave was still on, Bernstein Bears is a big thing for the Mandela effect with the spelling.
Yeah, it wasn't Bernstein. People remember it being Bernstein Bears, but it's actually Bernstein Bears.
Yeah. Like, and people might say, well, hang about. You said fucking time travel in this title. That's Mandela effect could be time travel affected.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're an hour and 20 minutes into clickbait. There you go.
There you go.
So it worked.
Good call, mate. There's only so much people I can watch from the 1940s pretending to be that look like they're on a mobile phone.
Yeah, I think that the
this
Mandela effect for me is much more compelling than than somebody jumping in a DeLorean.
Well, it's even
the
more like where the name comes from. I mean, that's in itself. These people that were swearing that Mandela died.
Yes. Yeah. I was.
Don't forget, man. Don't forget.
Too young to remember any of that stuff. I remember asking my dad, because I couldn't understand why everybody was supported Nelson Mandela when he was in prison. Because as a kid, I'm like, well, hang on, he's in prison. Surely he must have done something wrong. And then my dad tried to explain it all to me, and as you can imagine, that didn't go well.
I remember him dying in prison.
What? Do you?
Yep. That's what started it for me.
That's wild. You must be young if you remember that.
No, it's something that I just remember seeing, and I saw it. I think I saw it in a documentary, something like my dad watched a hell of a lot of documentaries growing up, and I always thought he died in prison. That's what got me onto this subject. And then I started seeing the Star Wars stuff and that, and I'm like, that's more that's my fucking.
I've got a really good Mandela effect. I remember Lou Hernandez having a good YouTube channel.
Bringing in a drama. For me, it's the odd one is Spears with a microphone.
Who?
I can remember that one. Britney Spears.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I can't remember what music video it was, but she definitely had a microphone, 100%. And the Mandela effect of that is that she didn't have a microphone. It is just, but it's these like coincidences. It's too much of a coincidence. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's having the same effect, and it's just odd, isn't it?
There's people in the comments going, funny Mandela effect is, I remember this podcast started talking about the Vril.
Yeah, we did. Right. And the Vril goes into time travel. And we went into time travel.
Ollie, stop explaining my joke. Stop explaining my joke, Ollie.
All right. Oh, I thought we commented. Hidden. Have you looked into this Mandela effect thing? Because I'm just wondering if we can get some Mandela effects that because obviously you'd not heard of the which one have you not heard of again? I can't remember.
The Moonraker one, I definitely did.
Yeah.
But we looked at that and just, I don't know.
Have you heard of the Mirror one?
Mirror, no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. So, do you know?
Don't Ollie, don't tell him. Show him.
Show him.
Yeah.
Okay. We might get a copyright strike, but it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah. The line is no, we won't get a copyright strike for it because
No. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't spoil
No,
it.
I'm just saying these Disney films are now on free domain, aren't they? Hence the reason we can start making them into horror movies and doing cool stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to the Bambi one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Bambi one as well, and Peter Pan.
Yes. Well, to be fair, Peter Pan is a horror story.
Peter Pan's fucking he steals people's children and keeps them on an island. Where have we heard of that before?
And they twisted it on the head. They made Captain Hook the bad guy when the Hook is the liberator. Because if he didn't take them children, Peter Pan was going to kill him.
It's wild. Like the whole Peter Pan story is like fucking crazy. So you've got at that time. Remember, don't forget the Epstein thing's going on. It's fucking going on. And then you've got Michael Jackson, which for some reason in 2024 everyone tries to pretend wasn't doing horrible things to kids, and he starts calling himself fucking Peter Pan. Weird.
See, the thing is now, I've kind of changed my point of view on Jackson because I don't know if you guys have been listening to what Cat Williams has been saying, but when Cat Williams was on Shay Shay's show, he was talking about Michael Jackson.
See,
and
I
he
do
said,
love Cat Williams. I have heard this, yeah.
And he was saying, like, you notice everybody that has a problem with their record labels, they start messing with him. And the moment that he started having, when he was coming out saying, look, I'm having problems with Sony, I think he sued them and everything. That's when all this was coming out.
Was it? But didn't this sort of stuff start first? I'm sure there was rumors of him and kids before he started getting into financial difficulties with Sony. I'm convinced of it. But I mean, the thing could be in those situations is, yeah, maybe this stuff does happen with people when they get into trouble with their labels, but also it could just be the labels using stuff they're fully aware of and that they've kept quiet because they've been protecting their assets. Like I've always thought to myself that there is a someone out there, hopefully that's still alive, knows all of the fires that were put out like around the Beatles and stuff like that, because for them to have been protected for so long without, I'm not saying it has to be anything like crazy, but they've done some shit. Do you know what I mean? And they've still got such a good, squeaky clean reputation that they must have had somebody putting some awful fires out around them.
I mean, the thing is, well, I don't know. Like when you take the Beatles, I'll use that example. I believe it was George Harrison, whatever. I don't know how he got away with what he was doing, because he was open about that, because he was dating that young girl, wasn't he?
Yeah, well,
but it was okay.
Married a 14-year-old.
But he was okay because he ended up marrying her.
Elvis Presley married a 14-year-old. Who's the director? Who's the director that
Polanski?
Well, the Polanski thing, you couldn't even say what he was doing on YouTube. But the director, what's his name? Oh, glasses.
Oh, Woody Allen.
Woody Allen, yeah. Like he adopted a daughter and then waited until she was old enough to marry.
He married his daughter.
His adopted daughter. Yeah.
Fuck right off.
No, yeah. There's a Mandela effect. She woke up one morning and she could remember him being his dad.
and then check it out, yeah. Them pictures of when Epstein got released from prison and our royal Andrew went over there. Yeah, you remember for that weekend, And there was, but he wasn't the only one there, and there was pictures of Alan there.
Mm.
Oh, it's insane.
So Hidden.
Okay, sorry.
No, there's no sorry. But
Hello.
what did that witch say in the mirror?
I don't know. You know, I can only remember Thingy.
You know the
Snow
mirror,
White.
the mirror.
Mirror,
thing.
mirror on the wall.
Okay,
Who's the
you've done right. Okay, so what did she say?
mirror, mirror on the wall? Who's the prettiest of them all?
Something like that.
Ferris, but you're close enough.
Ferris. That's it.
Yeah.
Right,
Ferris.
okay, there we go. Right, I'm gonna play this for you. This is the original.
Slave in the magic mirror, come from the farthest space. Through wind and darkness I summon thee. Speak. Let me see thy face.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
Famed
Yeah,
is
stop
thy
that now, Ollie.
beauty,
We might
majesty.
get away with not being copyright struck.
Well, it's for educational purposes, Disney.
But that magic mirror on the wall, that's a pretty wild one as well.
So what was the Mandela effect for that one then? Could you just? I'm not
She
too
didn't
sure
say-
about Snow.
He didn't say mirror, mirror. She said magic mirror.
You don't remember that, Nick? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
I've heard it, but I've never seen Snow White, so I can't clarify.
right. Yeah.
Well, good for you.
This is it because
I mean, the interesting thing is that you've never seen Snow White, but you know the line. You know the line that's in the public
Exactly.
consciousness. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I was known as Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Yeah.
Who's the fairest of them all?
Mhm.
And if anybody in this chat says they remember it as Magic Mirror, I'm sorry, you're not a fucking real person.
Jesus Christ, Ollie.
Make sure you support the channel anyway and share it.
And buy merch.
Yeah, they might not be real people, Ollie, but they're giving us real views and hopefully real money. So shut up.
Yeah, I'll be quiet. How do you find that hidden? Now that you've just seen that,
Has it been? Is that
No,
the original
no,
one that's not
no, there is
remastered
no
or anything?
there is no such thing as Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. There's no such thing.
That's twisting my melon, man.
But it does not exist.
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
So what's the link between CERN and Mandela effect? Because that statue, as I talked about in Vril earlier, with the Shiva statue, what is that supposed to represent CERN then? In terms of occult practices?
Well, Shiva is the goddess of destruction, isn't she?
Well,
Yeah,
not just,
yeah.
But she's not just that though.
Mhm.
She's more.
Elaborate.
I can't because I'm not 100% sure.
Okay,
Because I
okay.
had this conversation with somebody and they told me that Shiva does not just represent destruction.
Nick,
I think
do
more
you,
like
do
renewal.
you know why Maria Allsap and the Vril Allsip used the Sheba statue?
No, it was mentioned a lot in the pamphlet in 1930s, the real pamphlet. Honestly, I need to read it again. I only read it once, but I had to translate everything. But I don't think the translation is actually correct. I think it like mumble jumbo some words a little bit. But it's mentioned the power of Shiva as applications for the Vril, which is applications for the machines and all that sort of stuff. So
Right.
yeah. But yeah, it's quite interesting why the Shiva statue was outside CERN. It's it's a very because I know the occult symbolism and the ritual that they do.
Because I know you've got a lot of like suspicions on the Vril, but it's interesting they're talking about time, and you've got the Sheba in there, and Lee's just about to enlighten us with something glorious, I think.
Shiva, one of 3 supreme gods in the Hindu mythology, along with Brahma and Vishnu.
Yeah.
He, which has got me because I always thought Shiva was a woman.
I'm with you.
Yeah, he is the god of destruction who destroys the universe in order to recreate it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd rather CERN not have that, if I'm honest.
Yeah. He is the destroyer and the restorer.
Like, I'd prefer if they had like Jeff, the god of kittens, at the front door.
The benevolent herdsman of souls and a wrathful avenger.
That's interesting because what was the conversation that me and you were having when I was on the way back from work the other day, Lee? And we were talking about, well, you were talking about, what if they keep doing this? What if this keeps being these little resets?
Oh yeah, that's my idea of the we find like ancient cultures and stuff like that, not because we get to a certain point and stop ourselves, or that we like Graham Hancock's theory of like cataclysms that come and throw us back to the Stone Age. But again, with my tinfoil hat head on, we constantly talk about like hidden religions and like hidden groups and hidden hands that look over us and like dictate the world. What if they know that because we are a race that lives to multiply? You know, we can't do anything but that. We multiply, we consume, we keep doing it. What if the hidden group knows that? They've known it for thousands of years, and they've been in place for thousands of years, and they know unchecked that we will destroy ourselves, that the human race will just essentially, through basically gluttony, will wipe ourselves into extinction. So there has been organized resets through like, I mean, we spoke about the like Spanish flu. There was a video. I'm pulling this off the top of my head. If I get this wrong, I'm terribly sorry about it. I was watching a video from a guy called on my lunch break. It is. Everybody should check it out. They do half an hour history, like conspiracy videos about like Tartaria and stuff like that. It's fucking great. And he was doing one on the catacombs. I didn't know that the catacombs in France weren't the biggest catacombs in the world. They're in the Ukraine. That blew my mind a little bit. The catacombs in France have an estimated 6 million people buried in them. Now, if I'm right, during the period that they were built, the population of France was 600,000 people, but there's 6 million people buried there. So what were we doing at that point? And especially given the fact of how the catacombs are laid out, like in some sort of ritualistic fashion, what were we doing at that time to have that many people to bury? It's there's so many things, so many little things that, and it's, don't get me wrong, don't anyone in the comments come looking at me for fucking answers, but there's so many little things that we just take for granted, like even down to like the buildings of these big cathedrals and stuff like that. These big buildings we have still around today, ones that have come and gone, which were also like huge and grand in scope, that were done an awful long time ago. There's so many things that we forget. I mean, I was at the cathedral in like the big cathedral they've got in Milan. It's a fucking incredible building, and not one moment when I was there did I really think to myself, I thought this must have been such an incredible undertaking to build this, but never did I think to myself, like, how was it possible at that time? And especially not just like how with machinery, how with manpower, when you're looking at populations being in like the hundreds of thousands for countries, the tens of thousands for cities. It's not just the case of having the technology to do it. It's having the skilled manpower to do it, because the more people you have, the more chance you have of having really, really good quality trained tradespeople. You can't have like 10,000 people that might have lived in Milan or less than that at the time that cathedral was built, or at least to start to be built, and have enough quality tradespeople to do that. You know, cause you talk about master craftsmen doing this sort of stuff out of such a small pool of people. It's like taking, like, I mean, I come from an island with 80,000 people. We can't make a world-class football team out of 80,000 people. It's the same principle. You, from such a small pool, to be able to get a world-class group of people together. It's really weird. Like it's fucking the amount of things that we just look at, go, huh, and then carry on our day. And it's only when people point out a couple of minute things to you, like essentially like the global population thing for cities while we were doing these things, is just fucking mind blowing. And again, I think if there's anything I'm sure about, it's that our history is, if not a fabrication, it is the self-indulgence of people that don't want to question themselves enough.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, if you look at like the pyramids or something, you know, or anything archaeological structural like that, you know, people look at it thinking, oh, that's impressive, and then don't think twice about how it's built. You know, the mathematics skills you need to actually build the pyramids, because it's not exactly straightforward. I mean, it's not built for pharaohs, put it that way. You know, it's built for a purpose. And you know, if you think 10,000 people can build that thing, obviously, where are the bodies? You know, there must be mass graves. You know, if there's massive slave labor to build those things, there should be at least a mass grave somewhere. So, yeah, you're quite right, Lee. I mean, history is completely different. But I had no idea about the catacombs. 6 million. Did you say 6 million bodies were buried there? And what there was
estimated 6 million people buried there. And like the entirety of the catacombs haven't been explored. And isn't there something like it's the directions to go into the catacombs translated are like, it's like head west from the entrance, and I can't remember what the direct translation is, but like when you go in, the guide is essentially like head west to the gates of hell. So it's like from here, the catacombs span from here to the gates of hell.
Wow. Yeah. I've seen so many, I wouldn't say a lot, but people get missing down the catacombs because it's absolute pitch darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been terrifying to be lost in there. And I have seen pictures of like people who've been lost.
Did you see the guys that got lost? Yeah, did you see the guys that got lost in the catacombs, and they were in there for a few hours, and they just happened to come across somebody else in them. They come across a French guy who travels with them, and he showed them the way out. They were fucking doomed if they hadn't met him. Anyone that wants a good like fictional film of catacombs, one of my favorite horror films of all time is called As Above, So Below, and it's fucking incredible.
It is definitely.
I have not seen that one.
Incredible, Ollie. You'll love it.
Watch it. I love a bit of horror.
Yeah,
love a bit of like nipples on edge.
If you'd call it that, sure.
Yeah,
that's a new one for me.
I mean, one thing is for sure. I don't know about the. I mean the Vril thing, Nick. It sounds like you don't believe in it.
Going back to the Vril. Look, there's no publications about the Vril Society. Tino Struckman, he's got a YouTube channel, quite a big following. He's a German. What do you call it? He lives through history, but German history, like World War II history. So he goes to all these forts and everything. Now he was looking into the Anu Neb, which was the Himmler going into Tibet and India to find the Aryan race, and he was looking into that. So he was trying to look into the Vril Society, Maria Orsic, and he says he cannot find absolutely nothing. Now I'm not ruling it out if Maria Orsic or the Vril Society existed, but there's just absolutely nothing to go by. But looking through the time period, you can put the pieces together and say, look, it might be fabricated.
All I was going to say is we, on a whim here, we have gone from the Vril in this show to showing pictures of people on the mobile phone and then talking about Mandela effects, then talking about CERN and talking about Sheba. And that goes back to the Vril.
Full circle.
So I find that part of it interesting. Even I had no idea about the Vril until tonight. I looked at a couple of videos, not understood it. You come on the show, you've done a brief breakdown of it. It's wild, but the Sheba thing, especially when it comes to CERN with the Sheba thing, I find that interesting, especially when it comes from that sort of time when the N word was booming.
I tell you what I'll do. The pamphlet, the 25-page pamphlet that came out in Germany in 1930 about Vril and Shiva, I'll read through that tomorrow, and then I can update everyone to actually, because there might be a connection there between CERN and what they're doing and this pamphlet, because it was taken seriously at the time. Whether or not there's a connection between Vril energy and what CERN is doing, it'll be interesting. So I'll keep everyone updated
because we don't. One thing that has, for anybody that speaks about Nazi technology, is the bell. The bell always stands out, and people that have no idea. Some people say, "Oh, that thing, did it fly?" No, it was stationary. But what did it do? What was it there for?
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be talking about the Bell Project on Hidden Underbellies show at some point, because we need to talk about that, the Bell, to finish off another part 3. But no, the Bell Project was torsion physics. It was nothing to do with Vril or anything like that. If it was a project that the Germans were developing, it would have been the Bell, because there's documentations to prove that some sort of device did exist. So, in terms of evidence, there is actually some, say, documents to prove or allude to some sort of device. Yeah.
Well, that's a really good segue for the end of the show, and so I'm going to start with you, Hidden. Where can they find you? I mean, come on, it's Hidden Underbelly, people. And what's coming up next?
You always ask me the same question. I give you the same answer. I just don't know what's coming up next. But
Nick told you.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to plan that show. Could I just say that if I'm not posting videos, please check me out on Twitter and on Facebook and Discord, because I do post pictures. I do post pictures and stories that I do come across. If you like your paranormal stuff, if I find an interesting picture of a supposed ghost, I do post that. Also the shorts. I'm not trying to pigeonhole myself into the paranormal side of things. So if I find something interesting, I'll do the shorts. But you find me, man. You find me. You guys know where I am. I love you guys, so you know where I am.
There you go. There you go. And Nick,
Yes, you can find me on the Cosmic Twilight on YouTube, and you can find me on Rumble at Investigate with Nick 89, where you can find tons of content every day. In fact, it's actually clear skies, guys. So check out now. We might see some Northern Lights. I captured some amazing footage last night. So yeah, check me out on that on Investigate with Nick 89 on Rumble.
Awesome. Ollie,
we've
what
got
have we got coming up tomorrow?
Investigate Earth coming on.
Mhm.
For we've got a final card show.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to this show. It's going to be great.
Are you
Can I ask?
are you going to go through all the cards?
Can I ask a question about them Illuminati cards?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever physically seen them?
I'm
I
going
know,
to
you
order
can
some.
buy them. Yeah. I know you can buy. Like, I don't know how you play the game. We should buy them. We should buy it in the live stream playing the game.
We're not just going to talk about Illuminati cards, though, to be fair.
No. I know. I just always, because I've seen them throughout the years, and I always thought, it'd be interesting to have a pack of them.
Mm. I'm sure you can buy them. I mean, even if they started off as a LARP, somebody will have made them by now.
Yeah.
I
looked at a pack last night. They're about 50. Like you're looking at about £50 a pack.
Wow, absolutely not.
For some cards. So if anybody wants to send me some,
or me.
As always, you can find us on podcasts. You can find us on Rumbles. You can find us on X's. All of the things. The audio for these shows goes up throughout the week. We also have a sister podcast called The Conspiracy Mothership that you should go and check out. We'll be back tomorrow. Ollie, take us out, Captain.
I will take us out with. I'm not going to say pleasure. It's never a pleasure to end it, but
it can be.
It can be. We've got beds to go to.
Separate.
They developed the flying wing, the Horton brothers. They developed a turbojet flying wing. They were working on monstrous intercontinental bombers of bizarre designs. I have several hundred slides that I've taken from books from the public domain of designs that were so ahead. The Germans developed, according to some even more advanced rumors, they developed the time machine.
Testicles.
Yeah.